Google Maps helps you navigate from place to place, but it also helps you explore and discover the world around you. Today we're going to talk about the future of Google Maps and where it's going. But to talk about the future, I need to talk a little bit about the past. Back in 2005, Maps was a problematic experience on the internet. It was very slow, 10 to 20 seconds for a map, multiple boxes you had to type things into. Google Maps came up with the idea of pre-rendering the map tiles, providing that single search box, and making a smooth, fluid experience. And we launched, and many people were very excited about it. But Europeans had a bit of an issue, and they sent this screenshot. We had launched with only part of the world. And it shows that data is very important. We worked incredibly hard, and by 2008, we had licensed data and had turn-by-turn directions in 22 countries, but we discovered that keeping data up to date was very hard. We created a project called Ground Truth. Ground Truth is taking authoritative data sources, combining with all of the process algorithms of Google, and making the best data set we can possibly make. Recently, we launched 2 more countries, Thailand and Indonesia, bringing to a total of 43 countries overall with the Ground Truth data. But this doesn't cover the whole world. In many cases, countries didn't have good maps. We created a tool called MapMaker. MapMaker allows its users to contribute their data and make the best maps they can. In some cases, those maps are now the best maps that country has anywhere. And that's helped us cover 199 countries around the world. But there's one country that was missing. We had some of it in MapMaker, but just very recently, we published North Korea, making 200. Now, you can take a look at what North Korea looked like before. We just had, this river and the city name, but adding all of the detail for Google, actually having people tell us the POIs, the places, the parks, the neighborhoods, the streets, gives it so much more depth. And there's another thing you see on this map that was really important to us. Geo Coded Photos change the experience of everything. They allow you to dip into a place and really get a sense of the place exactly. And those Geo Coded Photos inspired us. And in 2007, we launched a product called Street View, which actually created these big panoramas, and we launched it in 7 cities in the United States. But those 7 cities weren't enough. Recently, we launched 2 more countries, Hungary and Lesotho, and we now have 50 countries around the world covered with Street View imagery. We've driven 5 million miles with these cars. But we haven't just taken Street View on the road. We've taken it on trains up the Swiss Alps. We've taken it down the Amazon on a boat. And even added beautiful imagery from the Great Barrier Reef and other places around the ocean. And as you can see here, this is an incredibly immersive experience. So, being able to go here, unless you're a snorkeler or a scuba diver, you'll never visit this place. But you can really get a taste of how the different places look and preview the place overall. This was the imagination that created Google Earth in the first place. Imagery is very important to us, and we've been working with satellite imagery and aerial imagery for a long time. But in 2012, we started generating new data from our existing aerial imagery. Combining oblique images, many different photographs from around a building, we're actually able to generate 3D geometry of large urban cores, and we're now covering far more places with 3D buildings than we ever had before. This idea of generating data from other data is fundamental to what Google does. We have so many different sources of it, but there are also so many different kinds of errors you can have. We have the base maps. We have Street View drivers with GPS tracks of their cars. We have images from Street View, satellite, aerial, this 3D buildings I talked about, and also terrain data that we've generated. Each one of them is good, but can be improved in combination. And this combination is called bundle adjusting. It's incredibly important to improving the quality of maps overall. One of the best examples of this is our local business data. Locating local businesses precisely is actually pretty hard. But using Street View, computer vision, and algorithms, we now have over 40 million precise geocodes locating these businesses around the world, making ours the most comprehensive data set of precisely located local businesses. So this data is at the basis of everything that Google does with its products, but it's also at the basis of everything that you do. In 2005, Google Maps API launched. But in the last year, we've had 30% year-over-year growth. And today, I'd like to announce we have over 1 million websites using Google Maps in their site and improving their site. These sites are visited by over 1 billion people every week and actually get more use than Google Maps does on Google products alone. So Google Maps API is incredibly important to us, and it's thanks to people like you who've added their, Google Maps to the power of their application. Now, obviously, applications are important to you, and you heard about Hugo introducing the various mobile APIs for Android. And they have really improved things with user location and the Android SDK for Maps v2. We also have Google Maps SDK for iOS. And being able to bring Google Maps 3D camera motion and fluid motion into your applications, I think has changed a lot of the applications around, and the uptake has been incredible. I'd like to quickly introduce the 17 sessions that we're going to have in the Google Maps track over the next couple of days, and highlight one thing in particular. There's a product called Google Maps Engine that you may have heard of, uploading your data into the cloud. If you can do that, you can serve your data to everybody with the same performance and quality and integrated with the Google Maps experience. And with the Google Maps API, you can actually have your applications read and write that data set and really change how things work. But now, I'd like to introduce Daniel Graff, who's going to talk about the next generation of Google Maps for mobile. Daniel?
Thank you, Brian. Hi, everyone. I know when it comes to mobile phones, everyone in here is probably here for Android. But as most of you probably heard, last December, we launched Google Maps on the iPhone. It has been a tremendous success. The feedback has been very positive. People called it sleek, simple, beautiful, and let's not forget, accurate. So if you're an iPhone user, you don't have it on your phone yet, go to the App Store, download it today. Brian talked a lot about the power of Google Maps data. He mentioned we're going beyond just directions and navigation. Maps are also about exploring and discovering places, and nowhere is that more critical than on a mobile phone. Today, we're going to announce, we're going to give you a sneak preview of the next major release from Google Maps for mobile, coming to Android and, of course, iOS. For that, we're going to take a little stroll through San Francisco. I'm going to start here on my Nexus 4. And as you can see, when I start this, it's a brand new design, a new look, and actually we're here at Moscone. I can zoom in. I can see all the beautiful 3D buildings, which we also saw in the Android demo before. But for now, as I mentioned, sometimes it's about what is the right place to go. So at the moment, let's say I'm in the mood for Burmese food, and here in San Francisco. So I'm just going to search for Burmese food. And when we look at the results, the first results we get is Burma Superstar, has a 4.0 rating, over 1,000 reviews. Well, I want to find out more. I actually see my friend Salahuddin, he rated it 5 stars. I trust his taste, so I want to look a little more. Just swipe down. I have different imagery I can look at. Of course, once you go there, you can rate and review, you can upload photos. And as some of you, here I have different reviews I can see, and some of you noticed here, there's a rating scale of 4.0 there. So today, we're going to announce a new 5-point rating scale across all Google Maps products. So if you search for a restaurant on google.com, or if you use Maps on the desktop or on a mobile phone. Now, I want to go to a different use case, and it's actually quite a common one. How often have you searched for pizza? That's what we're going to do, and we're going to do it this time in the Mission District. And let's see where we are. Let's see what results we are getting here. And no surprise, we're getting a lot of results. And with this new UI, it's very easy to browse through it. I can just swipe to different results. I can bring up the details and look at, is this a good place to go? But something caught my eye here. It's the Zagat Badge. What does that mean? And before we looked at user reviews and my friends' reviews, but sometimes you want to have a trusted opinion from an expert. We integrated a brand new Zagat experience, and as you know, Zagat is one of the most trusted brands on opinions about restaurants and places to go. Here you see a little card, and you see the Pizzeria Delfina is actually on a list called Restaurants Worth the Wait in San Francisco. I can also get all the details, such as the editorial review from Zagat and the Zagat scores. So sometimes it's important, you're from Zagat and the Zagat scores. So sometimes it's important to get a trusted expert to tell you, hey, this is a place you can go. Now, it has been quite a long morning, an exciting morning, but I'm going to go back to where we are right now, around Moscone and downtown here in San Francisco. And what I'm going to look for is, I'm in a mood for some coffee. So I'm going to search for coffee, and let's see what the results are here. And for example, well, first result, surprise, surprise, there's a lot of Starbucks in town, has a high rating, and something else caught my eye here, an offer. And let's have a look at it. And actually we have integrated here a brand new offers experience with great deals from some of the world's best brands. In this example, this is Starbucks, and as we see, they're introducing a new drink, Starbucks Refreshers, this afternoon, half price off. Please don't run there, I'm giving you a preview here. And if we go in there, and I can get the details about the offer, and then I can save it for later as well. So we see here the offer about it, I use it later, and then I can go this afternoon if I want to. We have many launch partners beyond Starbucks, and there's many more to come. This is the new offers experience in Google Maps for mobile. So now I want to talk a little bit about directions, and a lot of you are using public transport. I know that when I look at numbers. We have currently over 1 million transit stops in the whole world which we cover. And for those who are using cars or ride around with bicycles, 50 billion kilometers of turn-by-turn directions. Imagine 15 billion kilometers. Today we're going to announce several new key features to make your navigation experience even better. For example, we have a revamped incident experience. We're adding live coverage of incidents from all around the world. So in Traffic View, for example, you can see in real time incident alerts. You can just tap on it to see details, and then you know what's going on. Even cooler, another feature is dynamic rerouting. Let's say you're driving along your route and something happens ahead of you. The conditions worsen. Google gives you an early warning and it tells you, hey, there's a better route to take. So this was the next generation of Google Maps for smartphones. And thank you. As we all know, mobile today is not just about smartphones. Should we go a little bigger, screen size? So I'm very happy to announce today that we have a brand new, fully dedicated tablet maps experience. And we're going to have a little look here. So we're still here in San Francisco. I'm going to stroll around a little bit. And actually, we're here downtown. Here's something pretty cool. And by the way, all the features you've seen on the smartphone and on the tablet, they work vice versa on both platforms. Here we're at Macy's. We have indoors. We have tens of thousands of places in the world where you can see into the buildings and see what stores there are, what you can find out there, what's going on in those buildings. But sometimes you don't really know what you're in the mood for. You're like, entertain me, show me, what can I discover in San Francisco? I'm visiting here. So you're not typing in a search query. All you do is, and this is a new experience, you say, let's explore. It's a beautiful explore experience where you can see, I'm in the mood to eat something, to drink, to shop. It's a little early to sleep right now, so I would say, let's play, let's get entertained. And when I go through this, I can go to museums, to public parks, and well, let's take one you probably heard before, the Golden Gate Bridge, very high rating, 4.6. As you get all the details here, and just at the touch of a button, you want to see how it looks like there. You have the street view experience, and of course, it's very easy to go there afterwards. So this is a new way to explore and discover your surroundings. There you have it. So these were just a few of the new features for Google Maps for mobile. It's a brand new experience. And as I mentioned, we emphasize a lot on discovery, exploration, better navigation, and a beautiful new design. We're truly excited about this new product. It's coming to your Android devices and your iOS devices, smartphones and tablets this summer. It's pretty cool, right? But thanks. But where are we going to go next with Google Maps? As Brian mentioned earlier on, Google Maps launched in 2005. We currently have over 1 billion. And as you all know, Google Maps has defined modern mapping, and we're about to reinvent it again. And for that, I want to introduce Bernie and Jonah, and they're going to tell you a little bit more about the future of Google Maps. Bernie, Jonah.
Remember the first time you used Google Maps? And now imagine that same feeling again. We have been working on something that we believe does just that. We looked at what we have today, and we saw there are three things missing. Number one, you and me and everybody else, we look at the exact same map. Wouldn't it be awesome if you could build billions of maps, one for every user? And not only that, a map that adapts to what you do, a map built for you. And number two, Google has all this imagery from satellite to street, indoors, and even underwater. Wouldn't it be cool if you could bring this all together into one experience that would be fun and easy to explore? And number three, what if you could make everything simpler and more powerful by coming up with whole new ways to interact with the map itself, making the map the user interface? With these three principles and our great data as foundation, we went ahead and rebuilt Google Maps from the ground up. Jonah, show us how it looks.
This is the new Google Maps. Focusing the design and the interactions on the map has made everything simpler and a real pleasure to use. The map is rich and beautiful with vibrant colors and textures.
So this is a computer running Chrome, and we're using the latest open standards like WebGL to make the experience really smooth and snappy. These are vector maps in a browser. So now let me tell you a little story. I just moved here about a year ago. This is a nice neighborhood, and it was an exciting time as I got to explore a new area. And I love exploring, and so one of the first things I did was search for restaurants. And this is our new search experience. No more just 10 pins. All the results are labeled directly on the map. This makes exploring really fast and easy. And the top results, they come with a useful description that gives you a flavor of the place, so you can make decisions very quickly. No need for cross-referencing. Everything is right there on the map. The map is the user interface. Now, of course, there's this other way how you can find restaurants. You can ask your friends. And now you can do that directly in the new Google Maps. We added a filter, and now you see those search results are all the sushi places that my friends have reviewed. Like Ichi here, that my friend Stephanie likes. And these are our new cards. They summarize everything that is important about this place. But earlier I was talking about imagery, and you see those three photos, and I love this part. Let's take a closer look. We just flew into our new immersive imagery experience. And it actually looks like a great place. I might go there tonight. Let's head back out, clear the search. So earlier I was saying this map is built for you. Let me show you how that works. So I've been living in this area for about a year now, and I've done many, many searches. I reviewed places, starred places, and I made great new friends. And my map got better and better. The places you see on this map, they are my landmarks. Like Francis here, that's one of the first places I went to. It's a great restaurant, I love it, and I keep going back. So it's very important to me. And just the other day, someone told me about a bike shop and said, it's right next to Francis. And I knew exactly where it is. It is a landmark for me. And that's why it's on my map. But it's a fairly small place. So it might not be on Jonah's map. It might not be on your map. But it's a landmark for me. And so it's on my map. And when you are logged in, you get your map, and we'll highlight everything that is important to you. Now, it's not just about all the places that I already know. A good friend of mine is in town for I/O, and I thought we could try a new restaurant. And my map is going to help me with just that. See these places here? They are recommendations. Like Bar Tartine shows up because it's similar to Francis, and I like Francis, so it's a recommendation for me. And Foreign Cinema shows up because my friend Anita likes it. So these two look like great options. And this is how Google Maps helps you discover new places without even having to search. So this is how we can build a map for you, using the same data as Google Now, so it will get better and better the more you use it. Let me show you how we build a map for every place. So next weekend, some friends of mine from Italy are in town, and they have children. So I thought we could go to the Randall Museum. It's near my home, and it's really great for kids. But it's a little bit tricky to get to. See, this little road here that leads up to the museum, it's not even labeled. And that makes perfect sense. It's a very small, unimportant road. But it's important for the Randall Museum. So watch what happens when we click on it. Now the street is labeled. And all the other streets that lead to this place are highlighted as well. Let's have another look. Before, a regular map, and after, the roads are highlighted and labeled. This map makes it so much easier to understand how to get to this place. So we can build a unique map for every place on every click. Isn't that amazing? So, but I know my friends' kids, and they will definitely want to explore more. Now that's going to be really easy, because now all the landmarks you see on the map are related to the Randall Museum, and so they're all about kids in museums. You can see the Cartoon Art Museum, you can see the Walt Disney Museum, and when we click on that, we get a whole new map with new places to explore. So we can click on the Exploratorium, and when we click on Exploratorium, another map appears, so we can keep going and going. This is a great way to explore new places. It's really easy, just clicking and clicking. So it's simple and powerful. The map is the user interface. So now let's see how we can get there. So we could click here on directions, but for the most common case, there's an even simpler way. See, my home is right there on the map, and it says a 16-minute drive. So if I want to get directions from my home, I can just click on that. And this is our new directions experience. A great new thing is that we directly compare driving with public transit on the map. And that's going to be really useful because this weekend we won't have a car. And we wanted to make public transit much, much, much smarter. Before, we showed you the next 3 departures. But now we are going to look at every departure, every second for the entire next week and summarize that for you. So you can see here that you can take any of these lines and they run every 3 minutes. So that makes taking public transit so much easier. And if you want more details, you can use our new schedule viewer. So the kids, they don't want to walk too much, so I'm looking for a trip that has less walking and less transfers, even if it takes a bit longer. And here that looks like a great one. Thanks. So this is the future of getting directions.
Now, as Brian talked about earlier, we've collected tons of imagery, and we made it a real focus of the design to make sure it's easy and fun to explore.
So my friends, they're from Rome, and so they insist that next time I come and visit them. So let's take a trip. So this is a really nice 3D model of the St. Peter's Basilica, but can we have a more realistic view? No plugins, no downloads, This is the Google Earth experience right here on the browser. And that's not all. You see this row of images at the bottom? These are other great views of that area. That makes it really easy to explore. And the beauty of this place is really on the inside. So let's go on a tour. This is a 3D photo tour that is automatically generated from user-uploaded photos. So it will only get better and better. So let's head back to San Francisco. So this is the Moscone Center from a skydiver's perspective. But before the keynote started, I came up here on stage, and with the camera app on my Android phone, I took a photosphere and submitted it to Google Maps. And there it is. This is how you guys look from up here. So everybody can upload a photosphere and submit it to Google Maps, and so it's like user-generated street view. We also took a photosphere out there on our GeoPod, and if you go there tomorrow morning, we'll have Oculus Rift, and you can get the experience you just saw with a leap motion. Let's get that on. So we jump back out, and as we're zooming out, and we're leaving the Earth's atmosphere, you can see the whole world. And those clouds, they're real time. But we can go further. So this is the Earth traveling through space. And you can see the stars in the Milky Way at the right position. And as the sun sets behind the Earth, the night lights come out. And this is the future of Google Maps.